What decisions can make or break you during your freshman year at college? We're going to analyze Riley Rell's video and find out.
Growing up, I always wanted time to pass faster. I was always looking forward to the next step, the next birthday, the next milestone. College was one of those milestones that I couldn't wait to experience, to make my own rules and live my own life. It all seemed like a dream that was so far away. But then it happened.
Oh my gosh!
I got accepted to my dream school, graduated high school, moved out of my childhood home.
I'm sad to leave this room and this place, but it's time.
And once I said goodbye to my family, my life began. Needless to say, it hasn't been quite what I expected. But honestly, who really knows what to expect from your freshman year of college? Freshman year. First off, you have no idea what the heck you're doing. You meet lots of new people who are in the exact same position and you all just figure it out together. And let me tell you, you will go through experiences you never thought you would. Concussions and all. In certain situations, I found myself wondering where the adults were. And that's when I realized that it's us. Obviously, there are older people around you to call for help, but most everything is up to you. You are in charge, which can be scary. That's just part of growing up. During your freshman year, you're going to experience a lot of new things. You'll be pushed past your limits, and you'll learn to make the most of your situations. You may meet a boy, go on a date, or even have your first kiss.
This your first kiss is a big deal. And he turns on music. He is perfect. Oh, so is that song? Please stop.
So one thing I want to point out is Riley here is, at least in the footage she's shown us so far, she is living that kind of ideal college life. It shows her with tons of friends, and she's working on her studies, and she's engaging in dating, and it really is this glossed over version of what most people tend to expect coming into college. However, there's many people out there on the margins who don't have this experience. They're not dorming, or they might have to work all the time, and they don't have tons of friends that they're able to make all these memories with. So just keep that in mind as we watch this. This is not always the typical college experience.
Literally the free first kiss though. I'm gonna cry. I'm so good.
It could be magic, or maybe not.
I don't know what my brain is doing to me. I know he doesn't like me, and so it's hard because this is supposed to be like nothing. But I feel like it's hard for me to do those things and keep them separate, or wanting it to mean something. It leaves me feeling sad. Literally, that's the whole issue, is like I don't have a clue how I should be reacting to this.
Instead, you might experience your first heartbreak or bruise.
I just feel so stupid, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And I try to play cool because I feel like
Riley mentioned something here that is definitely true. You're going to get exposed to a lot of different experiences, and because this is your kind of first attempt at adulthood, you're going to react to things the way your character and your experiences have built you so far. And that's going to reveal some things that you will like or not like about yourself. For example, when pressure starts closing in on you, you might crack under it, or you might get angry at the first sense of betrayal from your friends, or you might actually find out that you're the type of person that rises to the occasion and conquers some of these obstacles. Everyone has different responses to these first real adult experiences, and that's okay.
Like that's what he's doing, and I just don't feel cool at all. I just feel stupid, and I want to know where he's at. It's making me sad, and I hate thinking about it. What am I doing? I feel like the hanging out is just like the biggest thing for me. I'm like, come on, do you not want to hang out with me that much? He's not as straightforward, and so it's hard for me to like gauge how interested he is and how much he really does care about me. And so I'm afraid that that's how he's gonna end up feeling about me. And so that's hard to like have in the back of my head, like what makes me any different.
Definitely did see this one coming, didn't we?
Whatever you end up experiencing, you will learn so much.
Disappointed in myself. I didn't want to be the one to admit that. Walking around waiting for this guy, I was done crying about him. I was done spending all of my time worrying about if he liked me. But it was hard. It's so hard because I like him in so many ways. The fact that I felt like he didn't want me and I was the only one almost begging for attention, I couldn't do that to myself anymore. Waiting for him to decide. And I just wonder what he's thinking. Wonder if he even cares.
I'm grateful for the great times and the not so good times because they taught me lessons I wouldn't have learned otherwise. I would love to tell you that college is all sunshine and rainbows, but that would be a lie. You will go through trials. Trials you thought you would never have to face.
I'm starting to get really stressed out about school and just all the work that I have to do. I shouldn't, but I feel like it's all coming at me at once and it's really overwhelming because I want to do well. Another thing is...
And it's hard. And it hurts.
I ate a lot of food today. And I'm not even hungry.
But you'll get through it. And finding people who truly care about you and love you makes all the difference.
Hi. I'm cleaning your desk right now because I've been cleaning the whole room. Whenever you find this clip, I want you to know that you are beautiful.
One thing I do like that she's showing here behind the scenes is that oftentimes there's going to be a lot of black marks on your so-called social life of perfection that other people see while you're out and about. They don't see the breakdowns. They don't see the overwhelming feelings and the stress and the pressure that you're going to feel. And this is very valid despite the fact that she's still in college. Once you're out of college, you can kind of turn into this grizzled veteran that's thinking, oh, I have 80-hour work weeks and a mortgage and, a family to take care of. What are these college people crying about? But that's because that grizzled veteran has already been far down the line. That is a much greater problem than what some of these people in college are dealing with. So when you're having problems, it's totally okay to feel that your problems are overwhelming and valid, and that just because somebody has it worse doesn't mean that your problems are not invalid. Finally, I'd like to add that if these friends made it through college with her and they stayed in touch after, that's a pretty good success. Not everyone gets to do that. For example, within my life when I was in college, afterwards, a lot of people moved away. I had one friend that moved to China. And oftentimes, these friendships are usually just proximity based. Okay, so that is definitely more of an optimistic take on some of the challenges. Sometimes what happens when you're faced with challenges in college is you crumble under the pressure and you handle it the worst way possible and you fail that test, or your social circle blows up, or your relationship just crumbles into dust. And that is okay within the context of college because that's giving you now some points that you need to work on in the future. Think of college almost as a hyperbolic time chamber, and you get to train all of your stress management, conflict resolution, and other adult abilities within a compact, high volume time capsule that you get to bring with you into the real world, whereas most of the consequences, not all of them, but most of the consequences are not super severe, and there's plenty of safety nets within college to help you through those times. It's a power leveling experience if you want to put it in video game terms.
You are loved. Remember that. All this to say, you're going to grow like you've never grown before. You will learn to be kind and quick to forgive. You will look into the mirror and decide to work on the parts of yourself that you know could be better. Because this is your life. No one else can make you change. You have to want it desperately, and then you have to act. The final lesson I learned
Before we get into this final lesson of hers, I also want to say that you will grow better from these experiences if you decide to be proactive about it. Essentially, if you go through these conflicts and these obstacles and you decide to make the choices that make yourself a worse person, then you're not going to come out the other side having learned good things. You'll have learned bad habits. You'll have learned bad coping mechanisms. And ultimately, I hope everyone chooses the positive ones, but not everyone does. So just be aware that growth and maturity is an active process and it's not a passive one. You can't just sit back and wait for yourself to become enlightened and for everything to go your way once you decide that you are just growth minded. It's very different. You have to take part in your own growth.
Is that it will come to an end, and it will never be the same. You will never be the same.
It's so empty. There's like my side is pretty much the same. And then now I'm alone. This is so weird. Ugh.
That's pretty huge too in college. A lot of people I've talked to have said that they feel alone, especially when they're by themselves studying or when they're going to an apartment where they don't know their roommate, or when they're not being included in the general zeitgeist of the college experience. I think it's actually more common than not to feel like you are alone in your experiences within the college freshman year in particular.
The saddest part about all of this is the fact that it's never going to be the same. After your first semester, you come back and you recognize how different everything is, how different you are, how different your situation is. The same people aren't around you. People have moved on, people have left, things have happened, new friends, new groups, new experiences. It's like a new start every semester, but when it's so good, it's so hard to like look at it in the face and be like, it's never gonna be the same again. You just have to move on with hope and with faith, and hopefully it's gonna turn out to be even better. But even if it's not, like, you have to keep going. This is so weird. I'm not the same person as I was when I came into this room for the first time. I've grown so much in like every single area, and I've recognized my faults in a lot of areas too. You just have to be grateful for like the time that you had with these people. You had the opportunity to have an impact on their life, and they had an opportunity to have an impact on yours, and that chance may never come again. You may never see them again.
So cherish the time you have now. Live life knowing that after this, nothing will be the same. That's life. That's a hard reality, but it's an important one to recognize because it teaches you to be present, grateful, and kind.
This conversation won't stop. Yeah. Give it a while. Struggle. Little bit of it. Keep an eye for the edge. Alright. Keep an eye for the edge. So I won't search with the stations. Getting quiet. On the right. Amplified. Circles and saying. Did some ordinary change. Intensified. Deep in my mouth. Try. Little bit of time. Keep it quiet. Let's try to build it when I for the heavens. Alright. When I for the heavens.
Good things ahead. Just what you gotta remember. This is where it ends for the semester and this year. When something changes, it's the end of an era, but it's also just the beginning of that part of your life.
So one of the big takeaways I want to put in here is the systems and habit formations that start your freshman year of college. So we got Riley here. She encounters obstacles, and then how she deals with that is going to impact how she deals with these obstacles in the future. So she has two paths. She can go the growth path, for example. Let's say you have a bad breakup your freshman year. You can grow from that, learn the lessons from the relationship, and keep going forward, which will develop into a habit. Or you can blame other people for the problems. You can refuse to learn anything on your own. And you can generally just not take accountability for anything that happens when you meet an obstacle and decide not to take the virtuous path. And that will lead to negative reinforcement, which also goes into habit formation. I think this is one of the most important things freshman year of college because this applies to not just relationships, it applies to your study habits, it applies to your social circles, it applies to your future planning. Habit formation is one of the biggest things that trips people up freshman year. And so one of the things that we can learn from this video is that you have to take an active part in your growth when it comes to facing opposition or resistance or obstacles. And when you do that, you have to choose the option for growth if you actually want to mature. Let's go ahead and take a look at the comments here. A moment of silence for us who graduated high school in the middle of a global pandemic. No prom, no graduation. We basically missed a lot of things in our freshman year. Yes, I absolutely feel terrible for everyone that graduated high school in the middle of the pandemic because a lot of them weren't even able to have a proper graduation ceremony. A lot of them started going straight into college online, which is really tough. It's very, very unfortunate when you have to deal with an isolated learning experience, especially when that hasn't been the norm for a very long time. My condolences to all of the people out there that had to do that. You guys kind of have to work overtime to refill that 1 year, catch up with that 1 year of experience. You didn't get the hyperbolic time chamber for that time period. I'm terrified of going to college, but I'm so grateful that I came across this video. Many people tend to over-romanticize college, but they always skip over the less desirable parts, the ones that involve real life and why these parts are pivotal in our growth. Thank you for this. I absolutely think that the over-romanticization of college has led to a lot of people feeling like their experiences aren't measuring up, when the reality is everyone's experience is going to be different, and it's up to the individual to see what parts they truly desire and to really get after it as much as possible. I definitely understand there's people that are working part or full time while they go to college and they're not able to take part in anywhere near as much social life as some of the people who have college completely paid for them. This is basically a long way of saying do your best with the cards you've been handed and understand that it is okay to feel like you're being left out or that you're not having a great experience. I'd like to compare that feeling of missing out to trying to complete a video game 100%. Most people don't have the resources or time to do that, and instead, with the resources you do have, you have to get as much of that content as is feasible for your own situation. For example, I wasn't able to dorm my freshman year of college, and I had huge FOMO. I had a huge feeling of missing out, not being part of the college life. and I had to make do with that what I could, because you can never go back in time or go into another situation in life where you can dorm again and where you can really relive that fresh, new experience of dorming with other people who are experiencing it for the first time. However, that didn't stop me from having an awesome social life, despite some of the things I didn't have access to. You can't experience everything in life. The best thing you can do, though, is make course corrections to hit some of the bigger goals that you have in life when it comes to experiences. Nothing's guaranteed, but you can always do your best and leave with no regrets. Okay, these two comments right here are pretty similar to each other, so I'm gonna go over them both in quick succession. Me spending my freshman year of college on the computer at home, bug eyes, open lips, computer. Oh man, my freshman year just ended and I didn't make one friend. This year was so depressing, living in a shoebox with nothing to do but study. I'm praying next year will be better. I don't know what I'll do if it's not. And this is exactly what I was mentioning before. Everyone's going to have a different experience. You see Riley here with all these friends and new romantic experiences, and then you see this user saying they've just been on the computer the entire time while they've been at college. And I would say that's not even totally rare. I've met lots of people during my time at college that had a very similar experience. Others don't even make one friend. And if that's a regret of theirs, well, now they know it's time to make some different decisions the next year. The cool part about college is it's generally 3+ years at a university. So if you screw something up one year and you want to change it, you can absolutely make course corrections the next year. Great video, Riley. If I missed anything in this video that you want me to go over, please let me know. Later.